Hi and welcome to OUTthink. I'm Lawrence Akers. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, member of the LGBTQI community, and a passionate advocate for mental health. Today we're continuing our chat with Scott Brennan on a topic of LGBT community and humour. Scott is an actor, comedian, writer who has appeared in the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, countless television shows including Skit House, Comedy Inc., Agony Uncles and Neighbours, podcaster on Talking Poofy, one-third of production company Mashup Pictures, and most recently had a short online series Housemates on ABC iView. And only in the last week or so, won a Golden Gibbo Award for his show at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. We pick up on a conversation from last week where we talk about how gay men use humour as both being the butt of the joke as well as being a defence mechanism. If we look at how gay men have used humour over time as well, so we're talking before about the 1950s, and there was the gender, cross-dressing period there as humour.
Well, there's nothing funnier than a man in a dress.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen Miss Candy.
Wow, sorry, I just vomited in my mouth.
We love Miss Candy.
Yeah, we do, yes.
The more you drink, the better we look. Yeah, absolutely true. Love Miss Candy.
Yep.
But if you look in the 1970s, it seemed like a strange period for the LGBT community, in a sense that the humour was often quite sharp and very self-deprecating. The film that obviously comes to mind straight away is Boys in the Band. And even the quotes that I got here, I might even try to edit in here some of the quotes from the film, because they are funny.
Yeah, but so full of self-hatred.
But they are self-loathing to the extreme. So, there's that great line where the guy comes in, what's it? Who is she? Who was she? Who does she hope to be? So vicious. But you show me a happy homosexual and I'll show you a gay corpse.
Oh, ouch.
And it really reflects in that period that there was a high suicide rate amongst gay men there, because they would much rather be dead than accepting a lifestyle as being a gay man.
Wow. Jeez.
I know. And you have to remember that people were growing up watching this, and this was reinforcing, because not only was it sending a very clear message, but it was making people the butt of the jokes at the same time. And it was saying to people, if you're going to be like this, you are going to be laughed at.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of it's pretty horrible. That is a pretty toxic film, that Boys in the Band.
It's brilliant. Go and watch it, but it's toxic.
Oh, so toxic. But I think that's kind of it's turned around now. Like, I think with because I think the gay, I guess. Oh, what am I saying? The gay, it's getting more and more difficult, I think, to stereotype gay men.
I think nowadays with political correctness, it's almost shunned upon.
Well, I guess so, but I just even more just kind of acceptance and visibility that we're seeing more of gay men than just the kind of camp stereotype. Yeah. So
I'm still waiting for Bert and Ernie to come out.
Yeah, I don't think they need to, though. They're clearly lesbians. So
that one might be edited out.
Oh, come on, horizontal stripes, please. But I can kind of see the day where the gay community is heading towards an identity crisis. I reckon, simply because with kind of more visibility and more acceptance, we kind of have less and less to fight against, and the gay community has been brought together. Like, the whole notion of gay pride has been brought together by fighting against things.
Nowadays we also have when you look at TV shows like Modern Family, which has a representation of a gay couple. It is ironic that the camper of the two is played brilliantly by a straight man.
Fantastic.
And it's funny because normally people might look at that portrayal and think, wow, going for stereotypes. But geez, don't we love Cam in it for the character that he is? Because I know I've watched that and at times thought, Oh yeah, I've been exactly like that. He's actually managed to get it spot on.
Yeah, he's very good.
And then you also have shows like Vicious now, which does have not only as its two gay lead actors, but two actors who actually did date in real life at one point, playing 70-year-old couple that have been together for 20-something years. And I know that my partner, Ant, and I have watched that and laughed and thought, we're almost there.
Almost? I reckon
there already
yes.
with the biting comments. Obviously, we can't put any of that content in this, but I'll include links on the website in the description. So if people want to go and see some snippets of some of the shows we talked about, they'll be there for you to check it out.
But I think like with those sorts of shows, we've often got those kind of big stereotypes of those sort of over-the-top characters. But, and we all know those over-the-top characters. So the stereotype can kind of exist for a reason in some respects. Like we all know that ridiculously over-the-top camp person, Adam Richard. But I think
we'll get to Adam shortly.
Yes, right. But I think the storylines take the characters seriously. I think that's what works in Modern Family.
Yeah.
Even though the whole show is kind of a bit ludicrous, those characters are taken seriously.
It's brilliantly written as well.
Yeah.
Like, you can't flaw the script writing.
And so, like, in the past, Mr. Humphries would have been whoops and and a giggle and nobody really cares. Whatever, you go and do your own thing. But if I think you can have that really over the top gay character as long as they're treated as an actual person and not some kind of cipher for bum jokes. I mean,
I think what you just said then triggered a thought in my head that with Mr. Humphries, everything about him was about being gay.
Yeah.
Whereas with Cam and Mitch in Modern Family, they are gay, but a lot of the issues, a lot of the traits are far more deeply rooted than that. So for all of Cam's faults, it's not because he's gay. It's because he's
insane.
Insane. There's all these other things.
Yes,
and I think that's potentially the difference there.
Yeah. Like a lot of the early gay characters were only gay. That was it.
Yeah.
Whereas now we actually have gay characters with actual needs and wants and desires.
Yeah. Just like real people.
Oh God.
It's like we're real.
Almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not.
No. I'm partially real.
Yeah.
Speaking of Adam Richards, Outland. Now that felt very much like it was a very funny show, very well written. Kudos, Adam. And in some ways, it reflected those of us that grew up being gay science fiction geeks,
flying that flag
incredibly well.
Solidarity
to all the Doctor Who fans out there. Get excited, Christmas special.
Oh my God.
Is there a need for gay writers to write specifically for the gay market?
I think so. I think there'll be less and less need. But I think, I don't really know what the gay experience is. I'm not really sure, about that.
You're making it sound like something you'd go to at Acne or something.
Yeah, the gay experience.
It's
a near ride at Wet and Wild. It's don't drink the water, kids. Don't drink the water.
Passionate eggs.
But I think sometimes you kind of you do need to hear your own voice. That was that was what was so hard growing up that, again, I guess this was what kind of encapsulates the game experience for so many of us, is just not seeing ourselves reflected back on TV or in films or on the radio or in songs or anything like that. And I think that's hugely important to make you feel part of a society. And I think that's part of kind of that sort of, straight privilege in a way that a lot of people don't understand the power of turning on the TV and seeing yourself reflected back. It's so ordinary for so many people that they don't understand just how important and powerful that is. So I think that we do kind of need to have, in some ways, that sort of niche market stuff, just to hear our, a take on our own perspective.
I think also we're seeing this next wave of comedians come through, and they're not even next wave, they're kind of the big things right now. But, certainly comedians out there like Josh Thomas, Joel Creasy, these guys who are very openly gay and who utilise that so brilliantly. But, you wonder, are they always going to be utilising? Are they going to become the Julian Clary of the next generation where, how many times can you hear a joke about having a warm hand on your opening?
Yeah.
Always,
probably less times than you can actually have a warm hand on your opening.
Well, it diminishes over time. That's
the law of diminishing returns.
It's definitely a diminishing return.
The hands just get smaller and smaller. That's right. That's what it feels
colder
like.
And colder. So, you think kudos for them for getting out there and in this day and age of, reaching for equality, for being visible. But then at the same time, there's almost this certain camp element to them as well. Would it be great to see a gay comedian that, dare I say it, wasn't so gay? Or is that part of the comic value?
Oh, look, I think it's... Look, I think possibly. I think that is like that part of the comic value comes from how they're perceived rather than what they're kind of aiming for, what they're actually doing. Like I think, say like with Joel Creasy, he's just himself on stage. He's kind of, being authentic.
And you get that, and I really like Joel's work. I think he's really funny. Watching, I think it was Family Feud, Family Feud last night. I happened to be flicking channels, and Thomas saying to Grant Denyer, "You must feel like the butcher's man here right now," or it's the first time you felt like the butcher's man. Yeah, and I thought, good line. Thank you.
Nice one. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Are there any kind of really sort of, dare I say, in inverted commas, masculine gay comedians? Well, there's me. You're in
the room.
Yeah, right. I don't know. When you think of gay comedy, you kind of think of those extremes, I guess. Yeah, I'd never really thought about that.
Or even a slightly, look at someone like John Waters, who has a very almost twisted take on things. I was saying before, my favourite Homer Simpson quote of all time is from the John Waters episode.
You know me, Marge. I like my beer cold, my TV loud, and my homosexuals flaming.
I don't know why I love that quote so much. I can't tell you how many times I've quoted it.
There's surprisingly a lot of opportunities to.
I think, unfortunately, I am slowly morphing into
Homer Simpson.
Especially with the comb over.
Yeah, I'd check that jaundice too.
Exactly. Really. It's a hip way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Why do you think gay men love to quote so much?
I don't know. I've always loved a quote. Oh, man.
You don't see there's many... this could be my very limited experience. You don't see as many straight men walking around quoting their favourite comedies or films, though.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we're just...
Is it because they can't do more than 5 syllables?
Maybe we're a little more engaged than they are, Lawrence. Maybe gay men read. I think that's the difference.
The library is open.
To the library! I don't know, but I love a quote too. I think it's so satisfying when you find the perfect quote.
Yes.
For a particular moment.
It's just not satisfying when you think of it an hour after the event where it should have been used. That's really heartbreaking.
Yeah, I'm going to walk out of here and just be on the train. Just go, don't.
You almost feel like phoning the person and just telling them, I was going to say this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why, mate. I guess it's kind of linked to that whole, why do we love, a tragic woman? Why do we love Judy Garland and all that kind of stuff? I'm not really sure.
Maybe that's a topic for another episode.
Yeah.
Why do gay men love tragic women?
Count me in on that one. That's good. I'll have to have a think about that.
Speaking of which, I think we have to wrap it up because I know it's gone like that.
Damn it.
We need the ding. It's gone like that.
Ding.
But thank you, Scott, for coming in today and having a chat.
Thank you.
Hopefully people got, apart from, all the references that were there, some of the psychological thinking that was surrounding that as well. If anyone has any questions for Scott, please feel free to email me and I'll forward them on to Scott. Maybe we'll get Scott back to reply to them.
Yeah, great.
Where can people check you out,
Dear Scott, why are you such a poof?
Because I am. No,
Yes. Where can people check me out? They can check me out the first Monday of the month, the 86th, doing Granny Bingo on Smith Street in Collingwood in Melbourne. That's fun. You can also have a look at Housemates on ABC iView. We're just starting on the second series of that now.
Wonderful.
Producing that.
I did have to laugh when I watched that series, and straight afterwards I had to send you a message to say, were you the chicken on the fridge? Because I had the feeling you were. And
Totally, yeah. Yeah.
I kind of know you well in that context.
Yeah, as if
that
there
was
was...
so Scott.
Hello, someone had to wear a chicken suit and sit on a fridge. Do you think I would trust that in anyone else's hands?
You know that's the kind of thing that I would jump at.
But totally.
That's so me.
Check that out. It's pretty cool.
Great. Thanks again, and
Thank
you everyone for listening, and make sure you tune in next fortnight. I'm not quite sure what the topic is yet, but I'm sure it'll be titillating and entertaining.
Tragic women and chickens on fridges.
Together at last. Thanks, we'll speak to you all soon.